Alright, hey everybody. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. Hope everyone's having a good week. As I'm broadcasting, this is the first day of E3, so I'm sure there's been a lot of stuff happening this week. I think I got a trick to this. What I'm going to do is pretend that I'm going to go to bed. Maybe that'll get Ken to go to his room.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright. Gotta do a debrief. That's cool. That's cool.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
I didn't know you smoked, Ken.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes?
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
How did you get so cool, Ken?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will, and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit below it all.
Right then, the debrief.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up on. Then you shot him in the chest, which wasn't ideal. But we did manage to get him down from the tree. So as they say, all's well that ends well.
I just wanted to make sure he was really dead.
Right. Then we performed the field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we're missing something. But we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great.
He's right. You could smell it. That something is missing, even under the overpowering odor of the corpse.
Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean.
In the initial interviews? Yes, well, we talked to some people.
Including Evrard Claire, a daunting adversary, if there ever was one. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
It's a tough cookie, that one.
We tried to interview the Wild Palms rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Yes, it's part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
Alright, and forgive me, this has been bothering me since this morning. How have you managed to run around all day wearing only one shoe?
Couldn't find my other shoe, and I refuse to wear shoes that aren't as cool as the shoe I'm wearing.
Imagine how much faster you could run wearing a cool patent leather shoe on each foot.
So what are our powers exactly? The RCM.
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Rebachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1,000? Why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Ravachol.
Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Wait, how can you be sure the arrestees will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see, and if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
Who makes all these rules? The coalition government?
Yes, the international community's mission in Ravachol, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
This gaze is absolutely fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Ravachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Let's say it was the citizens.
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
The moral intern? What is that?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
If I didn't know them, how would you describe them?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
Who is Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
What do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
You like the moral intern?
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad. But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
Lieutenant arches his brow and pulls on a cigarette with a slim white thing in his fingers. Done an awful job here. Have you seen the place? This is humanism.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Maybe we should make our own law.
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
Say nothing, just look into
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
And Jamrock and the GRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
Looks like the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
Will it change anything here?
Probably not. Anyway, positive change happens slowly. We never really get to see the impact of our actions.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Thank you for those.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
I need to get more health and drugs, apparently. I think Kim's trying to get you. Now it's time to get up to no good. First I need some freaking health. It also would be a bad idea. Let's see. Endurance. Outcome. Damage -2. At least I'm not about to die anymore. That's something. Because I can't really talk to that guy. That guy's still asleep. The wheelchair lady's not there anymore. It's too late for any of the Union guys to be there. Let's try to get that boot. Everybody's still there.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The body is reluctant to let go of the boots, as though it were its last bit of dignity.
Wow, Kuno's little sneak pig's back for the booty.
Yeah, fuck it to pieces for us, liar cop.
It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock beneath the boot.
Pull on the left one.
It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two. Just relax. This is easy. This is happening. See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's probably glad to get rid of them.
Step on the corpse, he's falling the boots.
Something cracks in the left leg. It really is about to come off. The leg, I mean, not the boot. You may want to slow down. Don't tear into it like that.
Try to twist the boots off one. I don't know. Check up the body and try to shake the boots off.
It's heavier than you'd think.
That's
You're
what I
forced to
think.
drop it back down immediately. The corpse lands on the ground with a nauseating thud, looking even sadder than before. Damn, you're out of shape. In your defense, the corpse was quite slippery.
Try to twist him out.
This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh.
Look, he's skinning the fucker up good. Puko style.
Hell, keep at it, pig.
The legs look like they've been clawed at by wild animals. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them thoroughly. Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Shoot, loony rooney. Come back later.
What's this? Nice. I also could be why it hurt me so much when I kicked that thing. It's because of, I'm not wearing a shoe. This is what I need. I'm also thinking about going back to the lady on the boat after her. So now I can equip the plastic bag. Now I can collect bottles. Is there something over here?
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Vandalism.
The mute machine is unable to confirm or deny your theory. But yes, it was vandalism. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Wonder who did that.
That's Kuno on the lens.
Really?
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Yeah, we'll be going to that church later. I like running because it's a video game and screw it. I'm just gonna run. It's funny that it makes note of it in the game. They're like, oh, you're a winner, huh? They make you do that in the precinct. Check up here real quick.
Can't believe you didn't take the shot. Fucking coward. Waved a gun like a clown. Next time you point that shit at me, you better take the shot.
Her knuckles have turned white, holding on to that fence. She's been here for days, seething. You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
No trouble from me. Just want to know what's going on here.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Actually, the gendarme really needs to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Tell me your name.
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Looks like you got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards.
What did you do last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
Did I?
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
Someone from the police?
I couldn't tell you. We don't usually see much of the gendarmerie around here.
When was that?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
It's around the courtyard again, patio chairs and dead husbands.
He's deflecting. He's young with a sharp memory. He hasn't had time to drown it in booze and chemicals.
Yeah, I still haven't answered my question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
Kind of friend.
It was my Sunday friend.
What's your friend's real name? Did you see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the dull and darkening sky, the neighboring windows stand silent.
Alright, we'll talk later.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Alright, so we gotta check here, see if we can pass it. Pretty high chance. Got it.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains?
Hey, listen, I'm trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again somewhere else?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
I should interview him when Kim's around anyway. It's a key.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt. Looks like it could belong to the building's front door.
Stone back. Alright, cool. So I can interview him later. Orange bum hat. Nice. -1 rhetoric. That's not good. Get a health. Closed door. You look at it suspiciously. That's the door that the union guy wants us to open, I think. Pretty much done with everything over here. There's something here.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Conceptualization. Wow. I might as well try it anyway.
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Since it's a white one, I can unlock it again if I level up my conceptualization. I think that's the front door. Need to talk to her real quick before I call it a night. Shadows on the water, how it's crawling over the surface.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
Huh, what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it's a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare.
The apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand,
Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then.
Don't worry. Klas Mazov shot 15 million people in the head. But that was all the way over in Grad.
Did anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
I don't care about kings. Tell me one
About
more
head
thing.
shooting,
Who got the mineral rights?
the liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you said the liberals already took
The
it.
liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralists?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They emboldened the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I'm a moralist, man.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Rudy Toony Pointy Shoot.
That's the way of history.
When was this
The
kerfuffle?
turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Started it.
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Giraffes do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
After that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
I think it's the 50s and the time now, because it's all alternate universe, obviously. It's kind of like Planescape Torment without as much sci-fi.
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing.
Sounds like the 80s.
The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
Got my reality lowdown.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Which side was the Wild Pines group on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They got lucky.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
She narrows her eyes. turning her gaze to the future out of professional habit. All she can see are vague outlines of a great winding down. The doldrums. People killed, but no great transitions of wealth. It makes her feel old, and something else. Something you can't put your finger on.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I ask you, who were you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I would have positioned myself very precisely. I would have made it out with the mineral rights. Let's see. I would have sought a medical solution. Sounds like Tatherath drove those people mad.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
Privatized healthcare. With some hygiene, modest social care, perhaps a little research.
Good
program.
hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
That's enough.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Dios mio, a liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Vile demon.
I hope so. I hope we are able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk, and the insanity, bloodshed, and transfer of wealth that took place here. It was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. an oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
The intellectual vanity will be my
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective. In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
What causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Oh, it's probably from surgery, though.
That seems unlikely.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie, out in the open somewhere.
Let's see.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Revachol Citizens Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
You said de facto?
Yes. That means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you. So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists. Yet something's still missing. You have finished mulling over the jamais vu thought, but your conceptualization skills are not nuanced enough to make sense of it.
What is this? Spread your
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot or two.
What is Rue de Saint Ghislain?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
You lived in them.
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the
The
Skull.
girl in the old lady rags.
Yeah.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Talk to Everett, Claire.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Not important. It's not important if I liked him. He's doing his
Of
job.
course, Detective. Excuse me for implying otherwise. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
He's helping me find my gun. I don't think I should mention that. Rather talk about something else for now, if you don't
Of
mind.
course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
That's it for now. Let's- Locked.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
So we'll talk about the murder. Maybe you can tell me something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
It's an armor art for the body.
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
There's a little girl wearing the gloves there.
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you. I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
Catch you later, Cindy. Okay. I know where the gloves are now. And I have the boots, I still need to wash them out. It's getting late. It's dark. There's some plastic bottles. And also, the frit's still open. Saw that. What's this? Got $5 now. And a room for the night. I think I need 20 for the next night. Spirited chirps and flicks of swallows fill the air. It's night. Shouldn't they be asleep? I think that's where the guy sold stuff. He's probably asleep.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
I think I still need to get the sign out of the way, right? Other sign down.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted. The sign billboard has fallen on the water lock, keeping it open, and thus out of order.
It is Samaran butter.
Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about it.
Well, let's give it a shot.
Just some tasteless advertising at the bottom of a canal.
I can level up one of the things here. Keep Rommel low. Rotting flesh. I also kind of want to stop by Frit just to get rid of the. Actually, I'm going to talk to Kuno about Kim. There's too many things to do. Got about an hour before everyone goes to sleep. Kuno's on speed though, he never goes to sleep.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
That's hilarious. Total retards use language like that. Congratulations, Kuno. You made yourself a retard.
Stop choking, Kuno! The faggot has got you in a chokehold!
Kuno's not fucking choking.
Grabs his throat like he's choking. choked you out there. Shames you right for using reactionary shit.
Like fuck you did. Kuno's gonna keep saying kipped forever now. Kipped. Shit. The fuck did you want anyway? You got your fuck bag down. Now let's talk normal shit.
Yeah, let's have a normal conversation.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, pig-o naught.
Kuno, I need a fridge to stash the body.
For the fuck him. Good thing you asked the Kunmeister. Kuno knows a fridge. Perfect for freezing.
Thought you would. Where is it?
Bacon Man's in a rush. But what's in it for the Kuno? What's the return on Kuno's investment?
Convince him to spill the beans.
Kuno's a poor kid from a poor neighborhood. Say your job is on the line. He'll sympathize.
Not sure about this. Asking for class solidarity seems naive.
Can't you see his hair is red? The color of social democracy?
Like Social Democrats cheerleaders?
Not all of them. Social Democrats have their hearts in the right place. Some of them can be valuable allies if you turn them.
Kid, this is serious. My job is on the line. If I don't get this sorted, I might actually get fired.
The fuck are you doing right now? The fuck is this shit?
Don't pay attention to him. Just keep telling your sad story.
I've lost almost everything, Kuno. My memory, my money, even my name. I can't lose my job, too. Please, please help me.
Kuno's never seen anything so lame. Listen, pig. If you were Kuno, the fuck would you care?
This isn't working at all. You lied to me, Golden Mouth Man.
You just haven't done it long enough. You need to do it even longer. The Golden Mouth Man is a liar. He can't be trusted, sire. He only wants to humiliate you. Paranoid whisperings. He is not trying to humiliate you. He just doesn't know better. See, I'm not trying to humiliate you. I just don't know any better. Say it.
If you don't tell me, I'll have to go ask other people, and it'll take too long. Body's decomposing.
But you see, Kuno wants for it to decompose. Kuno digs that cadaver shit.
Go fuck off and ask someone else. Kuno's not gonna snitch. He likes corpses.
He loves corpses.
He just has no heart and no sympathy for the cause. It's not your fault.
It's your fault.
Maybe you should ask these things from other, more well-mannered kids the next time.
I talked to Mignana about the army.
So?
You said you're now the king of the entire Jamrock?
North Jamrock. Kuno meant everything north of 881. The rooster fucked Kuno's words up. Kuno doesn't do south. Doesn't fuck with the madre.
Kuno appreciates you recognizing him as the sovereign of Jamrock, though North Jamrock, that is.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
I'll remember this, Kuno.
You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, griefing the Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno, I found your shack.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
I phase shifted through the roofing material.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
He can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to fuck at you again.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right?
That was with the pig head.
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Demo tape? Like some sort of musician?
Yeah. Kuno plays on snuff radio. Fucks pigs. Live. Fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer.
Okay, so I did interpret that right. Found a plate covered with powder residue. Know anything about it?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
What's with the tube of magnesolum, Kuno?
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
You could use some.
It's magnesium, right?
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a bottle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno! He's gonna use it against you, Kuno!
I know about the magnesium. I rock it all the time.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
Fuck you, pig! Don't do mag! You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die!
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Oh, that was pretty pointless. Guess I know for sure that Kuno doesn't know anything about the armor. I think Fritz closed, but I'm gonna go check anyway. Yeah, it's closed. Guess I'm gonna have to go turn in the cans in the morning. Which is fine. Let's try to clean the, conversation. Kitchen's closed. Of course.
Can I help you?
Need a drink, can you pour me one?
Do I have a shaker in my hand?
He's sound, and it's not a shaker. It's nothing.
Am I wearing... Am I smiling? Do you see? Because I'm...
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
You don't understand the seriousness of the situation. I'm an alcoholic. I need my fix.
Even more reason for me not to serve you, sir. Was there anything else you needed, other than alcohol?
Oh, worth a shot, I guess. Use the sink in my apartment room.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
I break it with my own hands.
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
What did this then?
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
Assess the size of the impact.
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The shoe you found on the balcony fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It's similar to the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, coincidentally, is missing its friend. Congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe.
Maybe it wasn't me?
You mean someone else took your shoe off and smashed the window with it? This person also forced the drinks on you.
I should go and get that
Cool
shoe.
wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold.
I found my other shoe.
There they both are. Two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet.
Wait, these do not look like normal cop shoes.
It's pretty clear a normal cop is not what you are.
fit.
Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
Both shoes.
These boots were probably left on the corpse because they were impossible to pull off while it was hanging. They're not exactly pleasant to look at right now, much less smell. Hopefully soon you'll know more about them.
Will I ever be able to wear them?
The size seems about right. Once you get the foul-smelling flesh gunk out.
They're saying about walking in another man's
You've
shoes?
seen too much to be that naive. Even if you don't remember it, you'll never know what it was like to be him.
Need to find an actual map.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
So there's lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
So I need to mag it sideways?
Mag it sideways? What are you talking about? You need to mag it up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already, and the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
You're saying I need to become a magnesium-based life form?
Yes. If you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to ascend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Internalize a new thought. I guess I can't because I don't have enough points to do that when I'm new. -1 shivers. -2 visual calculus. Actually, can I pick that one up? Recyclable? So let's take, pick it up.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come.
I want to sleep.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Smells of alcohol and sweat, and grease. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. A bit tense in the muscles. Relax. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Killed him. Who?
Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
What are my thoughts? Fall asleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
of your childhood.
What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
Nothing.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
You said who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs between her legs and in her mouth?
Enough.
Oh no, funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left, while you just stood there with one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick, watching it go. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
Give it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
What's Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do, even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
Trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
What my alarm clock says.
Good going, buddy.
You just had the most beautiful dream. Uplifting, rejuvenating.
Really? Because you feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What the hell is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening?
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Wait, what is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor? You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die.
I know people like that.
Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
I better get more of it then. Detecting is my life.
Of course. Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around. Follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
That bottle. Oh, wait, that's the mirror. That's a door.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
There's the chain cutters.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it.
$7. That's what, 70 cents? Oh boy, I'll be rolling in it. Union people are there. And the bathrooms open, the kitchen's opened up. That's really good. Can you, like, not go in here again?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please, it's not funny.
Hello, sir. Got time for a few
The
questions?
man puts his cup down and replies something. His left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Need a fridge to store a corpse.
The man keeps shaking his head. His eyes seem sad. Then he starts swiping crumbs off the countertop.
I don't think he understands, officer. We need to find some other way to make ourselves clear.
Wait, what language is he speaking?
He's from Grad, a Koiko.
With the mention of the word Koiko, the cook starts talking excessively, his hands up in the air again. He's happy for some reason.
I know, Kim, I know. I make static motions at the meat on the cutting board.
What are you doing?
The cook looks at you doing the charade and smiles.
Point toward
The
fridge.
cook says something. It's quite animated, but you still don't understand.
Need to get the corpse, point to Kim, into the fridge, point to the
Why
fridge.
am I the corpse? Doesn't matter. I don't think he understood us anyway. He wouldn't be smiling if he did.
Need to put a dead body in the fridge.
Oh, no. Body no fit fridge. Fridge more.
How do you know? Maybe it's a small body.
No. I know.
Okay, we have our answer. It won't fit. We
What's
need
mine?
a bigger fridge.
You know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Got some impressive pots
He
there.
smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
I don't think I need anything else. Hey, mascot.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
What do you mean, rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
He's the man Gart told us about yesterday.
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Might as well do that. How long does it take? An hour and 15 minutes.
Just a moment.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I may make it up to you.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The Union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Hey, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully, but you have more important things to worry about.
Who's this expedition your husband is on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The water lock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Wait, who's this Gary person? You trust him?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
The water lock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
You know, it's blocked by a big butter billboard. It fell right into the water.
Oh, sweetie. If it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
Cool, crypto hunt.
And if you see him, let him
Cryptid
know
hunt.
Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. Wonder if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So is your husband some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What's cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
Rude, Kim.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Tell me more about Morel, looks, character, your relationship.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. If I were to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I can have all the information I need. This way.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
No, I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us officers.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
So what makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So this newspaper clipping is the only evidence you have?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes. It can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
Okay, so what's so special about this stick bug
Oh,
then?
dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Hey, Lena, I'd like to hear about some cryptids, the cryptids you studied. Could you tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Cryptid extravaganza. I like the sound of that.
And I don't. Just one.
Or he'll be disappointed in you. Ooh, tough choice there.
Is this a cryptid on the pen you gave me?
Yes. It's the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
War story?
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Wow, with its saliva?
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
And there was something special about, something about an undiscovered subspecies of man?
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
Pretty sure Kim's the same species as us. To suggest otherwise is stupid.
The lieutenant looks at you, pleasantly surprised.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that Saolites are inferior to us, in many ways. You are superior. For example, your earwax doesn't have a foul odor like ours does.
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today?
What's the biggest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
Right, okay. We can move on from that.
I'm glad you see it that way. Did we have anything more to do here?
That's all for now. Fine, Kim. We'll have to go do our job.
Can I help you?
Got
the 20 real? Then why are you wasting my time?
I was going to ask him about the phone thing.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
You have a fridge?
Mm-hmm. Right behind you.
Right, this is a fridge. Wicked.
Yeah.
We need to store a corpse there.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking. I need to store the corpse of a hanged man in your fridge.
Okay. It wouldn't even fit, you know.
Now that I'm looking at it, maybe a glass-doored fridge in a public grocery store isn't the best option for storing a corpse.
Pity. Would have been so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I have to have it equipped.
Is this...
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now. You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back. The packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
What's that?
What is what? It's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Her attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected will now be more difficult. A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
Take nothing, just take it.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health, but I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, don't look, don't do anything here. Just go away. Get back to work.
Do you sell any under-the-counter vices?
No, Frit only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
Please tell me more about these products.
The pale age vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong.
What is pale?
You know.
Okay, what was consuming this stuff do to my body?
I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do. Here you go, mister.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
Where's St. Baptiste?
St. Baptiste, you know, the pharmaceuticals company. St. Baptiste Pharmaceuticals, the one that sells meds out of St. Baptiste. That one. There.
What do these products do?
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is... I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
Thank you for explaining this. That's all that I have here. Say what day it is. Tuesday. So I don't think I can get the thing open till Wednesday. Let's see what's now. So I need a bag. Actually, hold on.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
It's nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye. like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Any idea who killed the hangman?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The merc was hanged with a very specific type of cargo belt and often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors.
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Hold up, what does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Kuno's hideout. Guess maybe I can't do it anymore because I don't need to. Got extra cash there. Just have to go back to Kuno's hideout. I'm trying to go find more bottles. So I'm all the way back, even though I probably need to go back where I was before. Yeah, there's also calling in about that armor serial number. I'm gonna be heading back here in a little while anyway.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you. before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, and...
Yeah, I'm wearing the thing that minuses my rhetoric too. It's not helping. I guess I'm not. Yeah, whatever. I'm just bad at rhetoric. There's no way to level up. Something I just didn't want to forget about. Thinking about going to the bookstore. There's also the lorry drivers to talk to. And also this.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Betancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies. And so, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Do you know what it's called now?
The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Crenel, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
Let's bring up the photo.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
First, has the firm continued to work for pharmaceutical companies through all the name changes?
Hard to say. Their client list is rather diverse and incomplete. The only constant seems to be that the mercenaries are always deployed in third and fourth world countries.
A suit of armor like this would have been customized to fit the wearer. There must be a record of the person for whom it was issued.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
This is a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Yes, please do try. It's imperative that we learn whose armor this was.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for you then. 57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a in the morning light, the white on blue police livery on the motor carriage cannot but catch your eye.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to?
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice Kanema looks sleek and dynamic. The cabin is tilted frontward to give it a more aggressive, hunched look. Someone has waxed it recently.
Machine puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
It's a packing now.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
What's that? 7-liter V12?
7.2. Supercharged.
Saying these words brings him immense joy.
Fine machine.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
We sold our spinner hubcaps last time, so can't put those on there. Need to slam it, Kim, make it more imposing.
Sorry, I'm not following you.
Lingo it up.
Drop the ride 2 Hondo mil, get the chamber to 40 frosty minutes, to frosty minuses.
No, that's porno tuning.
It's what?
Porno. That's short for pornography.
So what's wrong with pornography?
That's a negative on the porno. Thank you, though.
No one in the history of convictions has been more sure of anything.
Okay, let's move. Porno tuning. Is that Renee? That's Renee. It's the other guy's a dick. Renee's the cool one.
Officer,
Gaston.
the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already.
This is the dick I need to talk to.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
Renee, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why are you on leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
It's his heart.
So who was working the shift that night?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Renee should rent out his services, invest in the profit, get a few more guys, expand and repeat. Wage work is a dead end.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it, thanks.
Yes, yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
As Rene turns from you to his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly.
How many medals are there?
2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun.
Like the cross.
A crowned head in front of 2 crossed rifles. The medal hangs from a blue striped triangle.
Like the sun.
A small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiance written below.
Medals. Did you get them for...
For bravery.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days.
Not for killing babies? Or...
No. We were the last ones to keep all the baby killers and rapists in check. And let me tell you, son, if there hadn't been Royal Carabiniers, Revelshul might not be standing at all.
Whoa. Sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you let him wander off to memory lane.
What did you get the medals for?
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston here hid in the bushes and shot themselves.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
Saved the princeling?
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revelshul. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the unrest. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity?
He really despises that dry sand fellow.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. And when I say march, I mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single file, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage.
Pretty damn clever indeed.
I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw.
Jeez.
Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee.
Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
Okay, then what did you do?
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then everything went black.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau des chevaux.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Tresson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one.
It's no Dink, that's a fighter.
So I grabbed the Dink and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. And the joyless freak convinced Frisel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood. Piece and shit. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that.
You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty. More than anyone's duty. It's in his spine, in his billowing breasts, and untarnished self-worth.
Sounds like you're being modest, man.
The old carabinier stands quietly like a statue, his features motionless.
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found him and Brisant. 2 days later that was. And that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his back, he still managed to murder 3 rebels on his way.
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself, it's there.
Hold on, you're just a little bit proud of Renee's heroics, aren't you?
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of peace, and these kinds of bloody heroics are only impressive to men like René himself. Certainly not to me. How did you find the story to be, officer?
This doesn't seem like a good moment to express an opinion. I don't want to risk it.
Bon Dieu. You and Gaston must be related. His blood runs yellow too.
Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. They don't hand this out for anyone with a service record. Oh no, you have to get shot. Repeatedly. And you need to get your hands bloody too. Really, really bloody.
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Poltroon. Duty is something you will never understand.
Thanks for the story, René.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Revacholians. Men with backbone.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fascia. Lord, please, bring those days back, if you can.
I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else?
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier.
Not right now.
Wow, you work hard.
I do?
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
I guess I do, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like a horse. A workhorse. For hard work.
What hard work do I do
Look
exactly?
at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride.
Fucking ride till I die, bitch.
That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco-Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer.
Guess I made some gills, sure.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich?
No, I'm actually not.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
The system's broken.
Boo-hoo. The system is broken. The establishment is keeping me down. That's not the fuck yeah attitude you're used to. What is this? Why are you so poor?
It's because that Gart guy right in my ass.
The Gart man has set himself up one of those self-replicating money structures. You should learn from it. Don't play the victim. Think hustler. Think with your head.
I don't know, why am I so poor?
Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze.
Every time I sneeze.
Every time you wipe your ass. They got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony. One tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for. That makes them ask for more money from you. Here, total tax duties add up to 98% of all your money.
Free market fundamentalist. Are you sure? That seems like a pretty big number.
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
This isn't help me solve my money problem. It's only making me into a free market type.
What are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street.
Go away.
Magnesium-based life form. We tell them, hell no. You're about to become a magnesium-based life form. The age of the primitive carbon man is done. No longer must mankind rely on slow-working background radiation to take us further into our genetic destiny. This is the era of guided evolution, and magnesium is the key. You are the first of your species, the next step in human evolution. An advanced magnesium proto-man who mags it up, drinks it down, and sniffs it sideways.
I like the minus logic. Speed gives one side. Let's go. Tomorrow. Finished that one. Is it? Is it a murder clown? Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it here for today. So thanks for joining me, and you can catch up on YouTube for any of the older ones you missed. I don't know where that is. Maybe I did talk to her. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go to the bookstore next time. So yeah, you can catch up on YouTube for any of them you missed. I'm thinking about mixing it up next week. I don't know. I might do something besides Disco Elysium. There's going to be a lot of like demos and stuff coming out, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so catch stuff on YouTube and tune in next week, same time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.